Hi, I'm Alex, and in this short presentation, I will reveal a wacky but very effective secret formula that will show you how to access the impulsive part of any girl's mind. This formula is so ridiculously powerful, it will make any female feel a special kind of desire for you. A desire so intense that you'll be able to send her pulse racing through the roof and have her buckling at her knees just thinking about you. No, I'm not talking about a mere liking or attraction here. What I'm referring to is a kind of desire which is so intense that a girl feels almost spellbound by you. I know this sounds too good to be true right now, but if you pay very close attention to every word I say and stay till the very end of this presentation, I'll show you a very special trick that will give you the power to sneak into a girl's mind and control her thoughts from the inside. This weird trick triggers a spontaneous reaction in her brain which forces her body to do whatever it takes to get close to you. And the weirdest thing is that she will do ridiculously embarrassing things to win you over once you apply this formula. But before I reveal this, I must point out that this presentation could be taken down any moment for reasons which will become very obvious to you soon. Therefore, make sure to stop everything else and watch this presentation right now. I know what I've said so far sounds impossible. I can almost see you sitting there shaking your head in disbelief, and I don't blame you for it. After all, what I've said is hard to believe. But all this is possible because of one simple reason. I will reveal a very unique way to trigger the impulsive part of any girl's mind. This is that specific part which fills up with an uncontrollable level of urgency and desire when you charge it the right way. In fact, this process has the pressure cooker effect on every girl's mind. She will feel such an intense and violent rise of feelings in her body that it will beg to be released, and in the process, she'll want and need you with such a dangerous intensity that it will appear too good to be true. This process is completely new and has nothing to do with standard pickup advice or techniques you might have seen, heard, or tried before. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80 years old, and it doesn't matter how bad, ugly, or downright humiliating your current situation is. What I'm about to show you will make girls literally beg you to reveal your needs or wishes just so they could fulfill it. Okay. Now, those are some pretty fat, tall, and bulky claims. So how can I be so sure that what I'm talking about actually works? I'd like to tell you exactly how and where I discovered it. And in order to do that, I'll have to reveal something embarrassing about myself. My name is Alex Carter. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm currently a coach of an underground secret society where I teach men the covert secrets to attracting and seducing girls who seem way outside of their league. And as weird as it sounds right now, I'm in the business of turning total nerds into studs, geeks into girl magnets, and completely hopeless men into real alpha males who most women would give an arm and a leg to have. But there's an even bigger secret to me. I don't think I've ever shared this before with anyone, but a few months back, I started coaching women, and during that time, I heard a ton of shocking stories. What I discovered was so crazy that it knocked the daylights out of me. I can't reveal the name and identities of these girls for privacy reasons, but there was a girl in my coaching group who said something so weird and crazy that all common logic shot out of my senses like hot air out of a balloon. She was sitting across the table from me when those crazy words erupted from her lips. She said, "I don't care if he sleeps with other women. I just want to be a part of his life." My face turned red with shock as my mind struggled to come up with a response. "Is she serious?" I silently murmured in my head. This particular client was a 24-year-old stunningly hot fitness instructor. She could literally have any guy she wants. But here she was telling me that she didn't care if this particular guy was sleeping with other women. But do you know the weird part? She met this guy just 6 days ago and was so caught up in his fierce and almost uncontrollable level of attraction that she was losing sleep over this. Her crazy level of enthusiasm infected me so deeply that I was forced to ask her, "Who exactly is this guy?" She flipped over her phone and showed me a picture of him. I merely stared, completely lost for words, as I tried to digest what was in front of me. This man must have been in his mid-40s, was almost half bald, and had an unshaven face with a slightly visible unibrow. "Are you serious?" I asked my client. She stared at me and clenched her teeth and eyes burning with extreme anger. Long story short, that didn't end too well, and I'll tell you about it some other time. But the fact that this girl was completely crazy after a man who was way older than her and was probably sleeping with other women didn't register in my head. What really didn't make any sense was the fact that she still wanted him even if he wanted to sleep with other women. But this was only the beginning. Over the next few days and weeks, I found myself in a strange new reality with my female clients. Another client of mine had a guy living at her apartment for the last 3 years, and she was taking care of him financially while he sat at home all day and did nothing. What made things even more bizarre was the fact that this guy constantly cheated on her and had other women over while she was out working. She had even caught him red-handed sleeping with her best friend in her own bed. And then I had another client whose story literally derailed me from all that I thought I knew about women. This was a fiercely feminine and crazily intelligent woman who came to me wanting to know what more she could do for a new guy she was really into. Naturally, I asked her how things were going so far and was astonished to learn that in just a span of a week, she was the one initiating calls. She was the one taking time off work to meet this guy, and she was the one initiating sex. Heck, she even told me that she worked exceptionally hard to create the exact environment during each meetup to ensure that this man ended up sleeping with her. And once again, this girl was super hot and amazing in more ways than one. Meanwhile, the guy was average at best and at least 5 inches shorter than her. At this point, I was so filled with curiosity that I had to do something about it before my mind exploded. Over the next few days, I started taking notes. I jotted down all the details and asked these women to tell me exactly what these men were saying to them. Asked them to show me all the text messages, emails, etc. Heck, I even sat through some of their phone calls to see exactly what was being said. After about 253 days of gruesome research and reverse engineering everything, I made the most startling discovery of my life. I still remember that day vividly. I was sitting in front of my laptop going through the notes when suddenly something caught my eye. "Holy crap," I said to myself, as a sudden jolt of excitement ripped through my body. My eyes were bugging out of my face as I told myself, "This is it." I had finally figured out the formula. I struggled maniacally to control my excitement and instantly picked up my phone and called my weakest student named Steve. Steve was a 36-year-old software engineer who had self-esteem issues for as long as I can remember. His issues were so extreme that even hi to a girl was a struggle for him. His mind used to flutter away in anxiety whenever he was around girls, and honestly, I had given up on him. He was like a fat kid trying to climb a slippery mountain. No matter how hard he tried, he would always roll back down. I had a 15-minute conversation with him where I shared this formula and asked him to try it as fast as possible. On the very next day, it must have been 2 in the morning when my phone rang. I saw Steve's name flashing across the screen. I reluctantly picked it up when a loud noise exploded through the speaker. "Dude, it worked! That was incredible!" He went on to tell me that he had tried this trick on a girl named Angie, who had very bluntly told him that he isn't someone she would ever date and had literally humiliated him. He tried this formula on her, and to cut the long story short, the change in her behavior was surprising, and not just surprising, it was actually shocking. She told Steve that she didn't know what he did to her, but she was feeling this weird sense of attractive urge towards him, which she couldn't quite put a finger on. And it got so insane that she was literally chasing him around like a hungry cat chasing after a mouse. I won't lie, but I was extremely surprised hearing this. I mean, I knew this formula would work, but I didn't know it would work this fast and with this much accuracy. Next, I shared this formula with another student named Jonathan, who was so deeply stuck in the friend zone with this particular girl that he felt like someone had locked him in a dark room and thrown the key away. He used to feel a tsunami of burning pain circle through his veins each time he would see this girl going out with other men right in front of his eyes. He applied my formula and was startled when this same girl suddenly and unexpectedly kissed him. I shared this formula with another guy named Brad, who had attempted to approach hundreds of women in the past, but never had much luck. In fact, with each attempt, he found himself feeling even more drained, tired, and completely embarrassed. But the moment he used this method, he found himself utterly bedazzled with his jaw dropped to the floor, as now he wasn't even asking for any numbers. Rather, girls were snatching his phone, punching their numbers, and were literally begging him to take them out. It was almost as if something wild and untamed had washed over girls around him, and he had girls literally forcing themselves both emotionally and physically on him. So now you must be wondering, all right, Alex, I've heard enough. Can you please share this formula with me? Well, I would be more than glad to. My formula is called the impulsive desire method. And just as the name suggests, it makes a woman feel an almost impulsive, raw, and extremely intense level of desire for you. Do you know that every girl has something called the impulsive brain? Ever seen someone gamble every last penny at a casino, even when they know they have bills to pay, a family to take care of, and kids to feed? This happens because during gambling, a person's system goes through what most call a temporary emotional high. And it happens because your impulsive brain floods your body with something called pleasure hormones, which puts you in this elevated state of pleasure. So even though someone might be losing everything, the feeling of this emotional high is so intense that they can't help it and continue gambling even when they lose everything. You're going to exploit this exact loophole around a girl and get her addicted to the emotional high she's going to feel around you. Ever seen a girl who told you that she never sleeps with a guy on the very first date? However, a week later, you hear that she met some guy at a bar and slept with him? Why did that happen? It happened because she acted on impulse during that period. We all have seen girls doing this, or at least heard stories like this. This basically happens when a girl's impulsive brain is triggered. However, most girls get impulsive very rarely, and even if they do, it's for a very short period of time. This method that I'm about to reveal makes this impulsive state consistent and never ending. This means that a girl will be completely stuck in an impulsive mode around you. In fact, let me tell you the weirdest thing ever. The impulsive brain tends to completely alter a girl's perception of a guy. Most girls will suddenly find you to be 10 to 20 times more attractive than you truly are. I mean, a guy could be ultra fat, balding, or even someone with pimples as huge as volcanoes popping out of his face. It won't really matter. Every girl will still find him to be as hot as Brad Pitt. But it doesn't stop there, because when a girl's impulsive brain is triggered, she feels such an intense emotional high that every moment she spends around you, you will feel special to her. I mean, you could take her to McDonald's and she would still tell you that it was the best date of her life. But once again, it doesn't stop here either. I've seen cases where really hot girls would beg you to get close to them, kiss them, and will thank you for giving them the privilege of doing so. But now, the big question is, how do you do it? Well, it's really simple. And there is just one simple thing you need to know. You have to turn yourself into a trigger which activates the impulsive part of a girl's mind, and there are 3 simple steps to do this. Step 1. Trigger an emotional rush in her mind by spiking her emotions. This is done by using emotionally charged words when you speak to her. At this stage, she will start feeling a sudden and very intense buildup of feelings of attraction for you. Step 2. Tweak it up to the point where it becomes unbearable. This is done by giving her a mix of positive and negative emotions very quickly. This pushes her mind into a sensation overload mode. At this stage, the feelings boiling within her will be so intense that she will slip into the impulsive state. Step 3. Position yourself as the only source which triggers this emotional rush. This is the point where you turn into her emotional fix and she goes into this crazy attraction rampage for you. This will make her struggle to get interested in anyone else but you, because you're the only guy who can make her experience such an intense emotional thrill. The attraction she will feel is going to be so intense that she'll end up doing very shocking, embarrassing, and almost stupid things just to please and impress you. Now, you're probably wondering, Okay, Alex, I understand that I need to turn myself into a trigger which activates the impulsive part of her mind, but I don't know how to do it and what to say or do to make it happen. So, how do I do it? Well, unfortunately, I can't help you face to face. However, there is something I have already done for you which you'll thank me for later on. You see, while I was coaching my secret group of men, the demand kept on growing. More and more men wanted my coaching, but I honestly couldn't keep up with the growing demand. After a while, I started getting so many applications that it became a little too overbearing. Therefore, I thought of a quick solution. I decided to take my coaching online and create a completely done-for-you step-by-step program I call the Impulsive Desire Method. However, I need to give you an extreme warning at this point. What I've revealed in this course is very useful and dangerous at the same time. It's like being handed a sharp knife. You can use it to cut vegetables, and you can also use it to stab someone. So I hope you use this responsibly and only for good purposes. Okay, so here's what you will learn. Discover the art of provoking addictive emotional compulsion. I'll show you an unusual way of talking to a girl which will make her feel a sudden and almost compulsive level of attraction for you. You will become so deeply seated in her mind that she will obsessively start visualizing getting physical with you. The most shocking revelation into the female mind. Discover one stupidly simple element that makes even the hottest of girls find an average-looking man super hot, even if he looks like a chubby potato who picks his nose and farts in bed. Hint, it takes just 5 minutes to implement this. What do women really want in a man? I'll tell you the most shocking, extremely raw, and really inappropriate secret that gives you the power to fool a girl's mind into thinking that she is already attracted to you. You'll feel your pulses suddenly leaping with excitement once you hear this secret. Neediness repulses girls, right? Wrong. Let me show you the right way to be extremely needy, which actually makes a girl feel obsessively and spontaneously love-struck by you. How to make any girl feel a sudden need to get physical with you by treating her like a sister. This sounds a little stupid right now, but will make total sense when you'll hear it. Many men have told me that this trick alone has changed their life completely. How to use something called the desire seed method to turn any girl into a crazy, raving lunatic who will feel an over-intensified level of attraction for you. Hint, this is done by secretly commanding her mind into needing you. She will find herself overtaken by this restless energy which can only be released when she's around you. How to know exactly what she's thinking even when she doesn't utter a single word, and a sneaky way to exploit this which forces her to get physical with you. You don't have to lift a finger because she will initiate everything from this point. Discover the trick of perceptive reversal. Use this trick and watch how she completely ignores your flaws, finds you to be the hottest man alive, and willingly bends to your will. Hint, you can tell her how much you suck and watch her body explode with attraction. This is weird and twisted, but works like crazy. Do you know about tension spike triggers? I'll show you how to give any girl that unique thrill of emotional arousal by sending her twisted signals. This leads to a spontaneous reaction in her brain, and she will find herself constantly pursuing you. She will chase you around like a hungry tiger that chases after a deer. Discover the secret of unconscious bonding. Do you know that you can trigger instant chemistry with any girl just by talking to her once? Yes, just once. Warning, she will try to get physical with you the moment you use this and will thank you endlessly if you let her. Do you know about the moving target technique? Use this the moment you exchange numbers with any girl and watch as she feels so much intrigue for you that she finds herself flooded with an unexplainable urge to call you. Her body will completely squirm with impatience, and she will feel an intense level of greed to hear your voice on the phone. Chasing a girl makes her hate you, right? Baloney! Let me show you a weird way to chase her, which makes her desperately desire to get physical with you. In fact, don't be surprised if she begs, persuades, and finally forces you to get physical once you try this on her. Is she starting to lose attraction for you? I will show you something called the emotional intensifier technique, which will spike up her emotions to feel extreme heights of attraction for you once again. Hint: this technique involves talking about a lot of negative things with her. This completely goes against conventional wisdom and will shock you the first time you use it. Do you know about the twisted blame game? Now you can make the most ridiculous and unreasonable demands around any girl and watch as she fulfills them with a weird sense of urgency. This is a new twist on reverse psychology and works so well that it seems a little too odd. You'll find yourself both surprised and shocked by her sudden obedience. Is she into another man and completely avoiding you? Discover my principle of peak pleasure that shows you how to make a girl feel so good in your presence that no other man will ever be able to match it. This is the only shortcut to cementing your image in her mind so deeply that every other man will appear absolutely boring to her. Well, I think you've heard enough, because I could go on, and this space just isn't enough to fit in everything that's covered in my course. And by now, I can tell that you understand how valuable this really is. So now I want to know, what is it really worth to have this kind of power at your disposal? What is it really worth to have such an intense hypnotic effect on any girl that her heart beats against her ribs at the very thought of you? What is it worth to have any girl completely melt like butter with physical desire for you and willing to do anything you wish? What is it really worth to see that super hot girl who always seemed beyond your league turn into this desperate girl who's aching to touch you, craving to hold you, and needing you so intensely that it almost overwhelms you? Well, if you're like most men, then you've probably spent a ton of cash on gym memberships, supplements, and maybe even trainers to get that perfect physique to impress girls. If you add up the cost, an average guy spends around $3,000 to $5,000 a year on just pumping his muscles. And if you're a little more relentless, then you even spend money on expensive dates, bought drinks for those hot women at the bar, or even joined an online dating site. If you've done any of this, then you understand that all this doesn't get you any results and only leaves you with an empty bank account and a miserable feeling in the pit of your stomach that never goes away. This is the reason why the price of my program will not only sound like an absolute steal, but will literally blow your mind away. After several intense discussions with many men over the last few months, almost every man told me that I should price my program at $197 just because of the sheer level of brilliant information that it offers. So, after a lot of careful thought, I decided to price my system at $197. But then there was a fight. I mean, a massive, heavily dramatic, and almost bloody fight. You must be wondering, who was I fighting with? Well, as weird as it sounds, I was fighting with myself. I was going through an intense internal battle because my main mission was to help as many men as humanly possible, but I knew for a fact that at a $197 price tag, it might still be beyond the reach of some men. So, as outrageous as it sounds, I decided to do something really stupid, but only for a very short period of time. However, the good part is that you get to take advantage of my stupidity starting right now. I've decided to go against everyone's advice and have decided that you aren't going to pay $197 for my course. You aren't even going to pay $147 for my course. Heck, you won't even pay $97. By ordering today, only through this presentation, you get the entire system at a ridiculously low one-time only payment of $47. If you do some calculations and compare it with the thousands of dollars you'd otherwise spend on silly things, this is an absolute steal. Heck, if you calculate further and focus on the massive benefits you'll gain over a year by investing only $47 in my course right now, you will realize you are only spending 13 cents per day. That's cheaper than buying a pizza. But hey, now that you've heard the sweet news, let me give you some bitter news. So, I need to give you a small warning. I'm only doing this as a small market test. I don't know how long I can keep the price of this system at $47. In fact, I'm planning on raising it soon. Therefore, If you leave this page, I can't promise that you'll be able to get it for $47 again. So grab it while this really tiny window of opportunity is still open. But wait, I want to make this decision not just easy, but so outrageously valuable that you'll feel almost silly for not taking advantage of it right now. If you choose to invest in my program right now, I'll also add the audio version of this program worth $97 absolutely free. This will make the learning process ridiculously easy for you because now you can plug the audio in your iPod, phone, car, or tablet and listen to it even when you're on the go. Sounds good? But wait, there's more. I would also like to give you something a little evil from my secret stash of things. Many years ago, I developed a system to hijack a girl's thoughts and make her do exactly what you want her to do without any resistance. This process involves planting undetectable suggestions into her subconscious mind, which after a few minutes erupt as a strong motivational urge within her body to do what you need her to do. I had a student use this very process to get any girl to kiss him. He would plant an undetectable suggestion during the beginning of a conversation, and after a few minutes, out of nowhere, the girl would attempt to kiss him. When he asked these girls why they suddenly wanted to kiss him, their usual response was, "Oh, I just felt like it," or "I wanted to know what it would feel like to kiss you." So in short, these girls didn't know he had planted this idea in their brains. This report is worth $37 in value, and I have taken it off the market because it was too controversial in nature. So, this is your one and only chance to get it because you can't buy it or get it anywhere else. Good enough? But wait, I'm still not done. I also want to give you my secret script, which will get girls filling with excitement and mouth-watering temptation at the very thought of you. I used this script on an inline dating site once and had hundreds of girls approach me every single day begging me to give them my number. This process involves a new twist on an age-old secret Hollywood movies used to trigger attention and build curiosity within their audience. This process involves creating invisible buckets of neediness in a girl's mind which only you can fulfill. The moment any girl used to read my profile, she felt preoccupied with a heavy surge of curious feelings and was forced to message me. In fact, most girls told me that they were overtaken by the shiver of panic because they feared that I might ignore their messages and they might lose me to someone else. This report is also worth $37 in value, and you won't find this information anywhere else because I've invented it. Sounds good? But wait, I'm still not done. There's still one more thing. I also want to give you my Confidence Explorer report. I'll give you a quick little 5-minute exercise which will put your body into an overflow of confidence. If you've ever felt nervous or anxious around a hot girl, then this exercise will vacuum those fears right out of you and replace it with a feeling of constant, never-ending confidence in just 5 minutes. This report will also show you exactly how to activate your unconscious feedback machine. This process is so outrageously good that you will become a full, effortless natural with girls once you use it. Unconscious feedback machine will put you in a position where you will naturally know exactly what to do around any girl to get a specific result. In other words, you won't have to worry or do hard guesswork to figure out how to say or do the right thing. In short, you won't have to think about what to say or do anymore, as your subconscious mind will make you say the exact words or make you do the exact thing, which will make every girl think that you're the most interesting man she's ever come across. I can almost guarantee that you've never seen, heard, or tried anything like this before. You'll have your jaw drop to the floor with how fast it works and how effective it is. This report is also worth $37 in value, but to be absolutely honest, I would be unfair to even put a monetary value on something as valuable as this, because the kind of results you can achieve with this are absolutely priceless. All right, enough talk. It's time for some action right now. Let me tell you exactly how to get my program and start using it 5 minutes from now. You'll notice that there's a big Add to Cart button below this video. Just click on it and you'll be taken to a secure order review page where you will see a quick review of everything you're going to get. Then, Follow the Yes, Order Now button and fill your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Once that is done, you'll be taken to a download page where you can have instant access to the program and start reaping the benefits 5 minutes from now. I know it sounds like a pretty good deal, but I know that you still have a little bit of doubt, and to be completely honest with you, I want you to invest in this program stress-free and with the feeling that you made the right choice. So I want you to just give my program a try and not to think of this as an investment anymore. To help you do that, I would like to give you my golden handshake promise. I want you to grab my program and read just the first few pages, or listen to the first few audios. Within the first few hours, you will experience a mental orgasm. And I know that sounds a little inappropriate, but this is really the only good way to best describe what will happen. After a while, you'll find yourself trying my techniques on girls and feeling an almost evil level of pleasure when you witness how easy and effortless it is to get any reaction you want from any girl you choose. If over the next 60 days it doesn't work for you, although that is highly unlikely, or you don't like my program for any reason, I want you to send me an email for a full no questions asked refund. That is my golden handshake promise to you. So now you must be wondering, why am I doing this? Well, for one, I believe that it's pretty near to impossible for my program not to work for you. And secondly, I don't want you to keep price as an excuse for you not to try or benefit from my program. So hit the Add to Cart button right now and let me help you completely transform your love life. Oh, and did I tell you that you won't have to put any real conscious effort into learning from my program? Heck, the moment you download it, do nothing but move straight to Chapter 8 titled How to Intrigue a Woman by Showing Her How Much You Suck. Within minutes, you'd know exactly how to talk about any of your awful weaknesses or physical flaws and use that to make any girl convince herself that she absolutely needs to have you, to the point where she would avoid every other man and be interested in you and only you forever. Heck, an evil grin of delight will smear across your face as you realize how easily you can create any reaction you please within any girl just by pointing out how weird, bad, ugly, or goofy you are. All right, now you've seen and heard a lot of this presentation. If you've got this far, then you really have one of three things you can do. Thing one, leave this page and completely forget about what you saw or heard. Go back to living your life the way you've always lived, and if that's what you're planning, then I wish you all the best. Thing two, you're probably thinking about using the free advice you got from this presentation and doing it all on your own, which will definitely work for you, but there's a very high chance that you might struggle without knowing the right how-to steps. You could see short-term results, but it might not be permanent. Thing three, you can stay on this page, hit the Add to Cart button, download the program, and let me take you by the hand and guide you step by step through the whole process and put you on the fast track to massive success. And you understand that you have absolutely zero risk as you have a full 60 days to try the system, so this should be a very easy decision for you. So hit the Add to Cart button right now and let me help you completely transform your love life. There are two types of people on this planet, the spectators and the players. The spectators are the people who only watch things happen. This is the group which suffers the most in life because they don't make things happen, rather, things happen to them. Usually really bad things. They sit and watch as life passes them by, and they only hope and wish that someday things would be better, but nothing ever changes. And then you have the players. This is a select group of people who make things happen, who live a life full of abundance and happiness because they act on the opportunities provided to them instead of sitting there and letting it pass them by. Do you know what percentage of people are actual players? You'd be surprised. It's only 3%. The rest, 97%, are spectators. So it's no wonder that so many people lead a life of silent depression. I want to ask you, which category are you in? Are you a player or are you a spectator? I hope you're a player. So hit the Add to Cart button below and grab this course right now. I really wish I could decide for you, but I really can't, because honestly, I want you to give my program a try and just casually go through some of the chapters, because as you read through the pages, you will start to experience one breakthrough after another. During the first few days, you'll notice very drastic changes taking place in your life. You'll find that all the chronic anxiety and worry which used to haunt your day and night is being vacuumed out of your body at supersonic speeds and is being replaced with a soft, warm, and almost creamy sense of relaxation and joy. After a few days, something even more drastic will happen. You'll find yourself stepping into a whole new world where you have an uncensored, explicit, and a little unfair insight on the female psychology. In fact, you'll almost feel as if you're hearing a girl's thoughts even when she doesn't utter a single word. Can you even imagine how powerful you will be with that kind of power at your disposal? So hit the Add to Cart button below and grab this course right now. In whatever little time we've had together, I've shown you three very important things. The first thing, you understand that you currently hold the power to inspire an intense amount of attraction in any girl towards you, regardless of your age, looks, or financial condition. The second thing, you also understand that there are specific tricks you can use today to make any girl go insanely crazy for you. And finally, the third thing, you also understand and agree that in order to get what you desperately want from girls, you must know these specific tricks. So now, since you agree with all these points, don't you think it's a good idea to at least try out my program? I mean, what do you have to lose anyway? With my golden handshake promise, you get 60 full risk-free days to test drive my program and to know exactly what I'm talking about here. So click on the Add to Cart button below and download the program right now. Still skeptical? No problem. Let me address some frequently asked questions. When will I receive the Impulsive Method program? The main program is in PDF and MP3 format, which means you can instantly download it to your computer, tablet, phone, or any other device to easily access it. I'm scared of sharing my credit card information with you. Your privacy and security is our number one concern and priority. I guarantee you that your transaction will be 100% secure and is strictly private, because we don't personally process your payment, but rather you will be billed by ClickBank to help maintain your privacy. It's a very reputable company which has been in business for over 14 years. If you're still unsure, you're welcome to Google them for more information. Can I trust your 60-day money-back guarantee? Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's guaranteed by ClickBank. So if you want a refund, you can email ClickBank and they will process the refund right away. I won't get your credit card information or your personal information. That is all kept completely confidential by ClickBank. How fast will I see results? Results could be seen right away after the application of methods mentioned in the program. Therefore, the faster you apply them, the faster you'll see results. What if for some reason it doesn't work for me? As far as my experience goes, that's next to impossible. By going through my course, you'll be giving yourself an unfair advantage over 99% of men out there. If for some reason it doesn't work for you, or you're not satisfied for any reason, I want you to get a full refund. And on top of that, you have a full 60 days to test and decide. Isn't that just great? What if I have extra questions? No problem. In fact, that would be even better. I would love to assist you personally if you have any extra questions. You'll be provided special contact details in the download page where you can easily get answers to any questions you might have. Listen, you have nothing to lose and the rest of your life to enjoy the unparalleled power you will get around girls. Grab hold of this opportunity right now before it's too late. Hit the Add to Cart button below